There'll probably still be a little delay.
Yep, probably like 30 seconds or so.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Evan_N is playing Brigador. What a surprise. Um,
Ooh, I need to disable Steam overlay. There we go.
Good idea.
Just to save some performance. Technically, I have broadcasting set up for my friends, and if one of you were to like log in and start watching me play through Steam while I'm doing on Twitch, I think my computer would die.
Oh, look at that good-looking motherfucker on the screen.
Hey,
Oh.
yeah.
Hi, Liam.
Hey.
You guys, anyone in chat, make sure. So, hey, I'm Evan. Evan in the Duckfeed Slack. I'm going to be playing 3 games for you tonight. Brigador, which is probably one of my favorite games of all time. If you've been in the Duckfeed Slack, you probably have heard me talk about it to no end. I'm also going to be playing Bastard Bonds, which is another cool game that kind of hooked me last year. It's kind of Tactics Ogre by way of Leather Daddies. And there's a secret third game that I'm going to be playing in between the two, which I'm sure Liam will be delighted by. Joining me are John, Space Lion, and Liam. Hey!
Hi.
Hello.
So if anyone in the chat can't hear them over the game audio, or you can't hear me, just speak up, and it should be... And I should be able to fix it pretty quick. I got all my audio stuff over on my second monitor ready to go. I won't be able to talk much while I'm playing Brigador, just because it takes tons of concentration to play at this level, but we'll start out slow, do a nice, easy kind of intro campaign, or intro mission, show you guys how the game works, what the UI means, all that fun stuff. Also get me warmed up, and then we're going to be trying to do I think it might be a world first. There's a very hard mission called the Full Linear Solo Nobre, where you complete every single mission in the skirmish mode, which is a really hard mode of the game, sequentially without dying. Health and ammo carry over from map to map, and if you die once, that's it, the run's over. I'm going to be doing it with a light hover vehicle and the maximum difficulty pilot Precursor Jones. So, going to get that started.
I have a brief question before you start.
Yes.
What does that translate to?
What is Solo What?
Yeah. What does the game mode?
Oh, I have no idea. Solo Nobre
Okay.
is the name of the city that the entire game takes place in.
Okay,
And
good to
it is the full linear Solo Nobre because you played in a very specific order from beginning to end.
Okay.
So, we're going to transition to... Well, yeah, Brigador. I'm going to hide the preview. I don't know if that actually makes the game run better, but it will be less distracting for me. So, we are going to...
Ooh, nice screen wipe.
Thank you.
That was fancy.
John and Liam are about 10 seconds behind my stream, or between my gameplay, but we'll be talking in real time, and they'll be commentating on the video that you all are seeing. If there's any donation alerts come in, I'm going to try to... if they don't catch them, I'm going to try to catch up between levels and sort of take care of that. We're going to play as Lovell Archer, who is he is probably my favorite pilot in this entire game. He is... I won't go too much into the lore of this, because we only have 2 hours.
And we could be here for a while if Evan gets going.
Yeah, definitely.
That
so
is
I'm
a sweet-looking portrait, though.
Oh, yeah, he's cool. I'm going to be flying the Pompadour, which is a sedan with a bunch of hover engines and heavy guns bolted on. It's basically, think like one of the major heavy mechs from MechWarrior, and had that entire level of armament and engines just bolted onto a family sedan. It hovers, it's fast, has a lot of firepower, it gets killed real quick, so if I make too many mistakes, I will be dead instantly. For this run, we have two weapons for our loadout. You get to choose different types of weapons depending on the class of your vehicle. I have my heavy weapon, which is going to be my main one, is my Gauss cannon. This guy has extreme penetration. It'll penetrate through almost anything. It's very powerful, but it has a there's a significant refractory period.
Liam couldn't resist.
Yeah. My secondary is going to be the May Dois. I think Dois. I read that until Mayus Diaz until just this minute. I had never actually looked at the gun that much. This is it's a machine gun that slightly stuns and slows down vehicles, so it's good for when my main gun is recharging. I can sort of delay enemies and
Right.
Well, you'll see once I start it up. And then for my special, I'm using active camouflage. It's a cloak. That way, I can not die whenever I get in over my head. So,
Nice.
to start with,
Okay.
we're gonna do a real simple mission. Southern Reach. We're not gonna do the entire thing. Just gonna do one quick run. If you, John, and Liam have any questions, or you see any questions in the chat, shoot, because this is the time where we'll really have time to explain everything.
Yep.
So,
I don't know what John's experience of this game is. I've played a couple of hours of this and found it very difficult. It's quite a difficult game to play at any sort of level I found. And I'm not bad at games. I know how to play a video game. But this is a game like the skill ceiling here is extremely high. So what Evan's trying to do
Yeah.
is something that's going to be, if he can pull it off, really impressive.
Yeah. Definitely.
yes, I'm excited. And to answer a couple... I saw one question in the chat. Brigador is the name of the pilot. Brigador is an ancient name. I will give you one piece of lore. So there's this planet. It has a leader that's basically Kim Jong-un, but sort of not... It's basically Kim Jong-un. There is a people's rebellion to try to unseat him that has been fermenting for decades, and it's about to kick off. At the night where that army rises up and kills the leader to try to bring about a people's revolution, this massive, like, galactic-wide space corp, think like Monsanto but space, they move in and they take over every single computer in the entire planet, every speaker, every screen, and they replace whatever it was doing with a message. The great leader has fallen. The great leader is no more. Silanobre must fall. Here's your contract. Welcome, Brigador. Basically, the idea is everybody on the planet was invited to kill military leaders, destroy infrastructure, and eliminate the guns that prevent the orbital guns that prevent the corporation from landing their spacecraft on the planet. People are encouraged to turn against their allies, abandon friends, and fight their way through the city until they get to a spaceport and leave Silanobre to cash out their contract, never to return again. So everybody in this game is somebody who is, for various reasons, turning on their people, their family, and their friends. So they're pretty much universally sociopaths. And just a quick reminder before we get started, this entire stream is for the Transactive Gender Center of Portland, Oregon. There's a little donate button right below the Twitch page. We definitely appreciate it if you donate. They do fantastic work. It's a lot of boots on the ground, direct action to help these kids in need. It's a wonderful charity, and these kids need this especially right now with all the stress and pressure they've been under since the election.
Okay, so I have two questions, one from the chat and one from my own personal response to your lore question.
Yes.
The first question comes from the chat from Wrenchwitch, which asks, is there any chance that we'll get a cat cameo?
Most definitely.
Almost definitely.
My cat is harder to get because he's scared of headphones, but
Okay.
I will find and I will grab my wife's cat and bring it over here, and he will guest on the stream whether he wants to or not.
Excellent.
He loves being picked up. It won't be a problem.
Aw.
You may get
And my
cat... Oh, actually, there is a
Go
cat
ahead.
cameo coming right now. Let me switch views real quick. Hi, buddy. Okay, don't scratch me. This is a
Aw.
cat. He's normally adorable, but my wife gave him to me in a way he doesn't like to be picked up, so he tried to claw the hell out of me. No, I don't want him back. He is in a mood right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so there'll be a cat cameo a little bit later. All right,
That's great.
back to the game.
Excellent.
What was your second question?
I was just going to make a joke about how the dystopian world of Brigador just seems like the dystopian world of the world. And I was just going to ask if Brigador was actually a documentary or if there was any fiction involved.
Right, in the game. Yeah. Yeah, it seems a little on the nose there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brigador is a very... there's actually a... So, if you're interested in the lore of Brigador, the game tells its story in kind of a Dark Souls... just some
Yeah.
general stuff. It tells the story in kind of a Dark Souls style, like, item descriptions.
Okay.
Every pilot, vehicle, and weapon, and faction, like a bunch of other stuff, has a write-up written from the perspective of a military intelligence officer of the opposition to whatever... Basically, there are 3 factions in the game, and
Yep.
each faction has officers that do write-ups about the other factions, and so they're all written as kind of from the perspective of military intelligence.
Okay.
There's also
Cool.
an audiobook.
Yeah, I have
So-
actually listened to I've listened to the first chapter of the audiobook. It's very good.
Yeah, it's very it's like a borderline military fetishist, but it is that kind of makes sense for this world.
Does that come
Yeah.
with like the full game, or do you have to buy a special edition?
It comes with the soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a special edition. It's only a couple bucks more. I think it's like
Yeah.
$3 more or something.
Well,
Some ridiculously good deal. And it's
I
like
mean,
it's like
soundtrack's fantastic.
the soundtrack's fantastic. The audiobook's like 10 hours long or something ridiculous like that.
Jeez.
You get a lot for your money.
Yeah.
I got a question from Wooden Spoon in the chat,
Yes.
which is asking, what is Evan's favorite Pokemon?
Depending on which day of the week you ask me.
Okay. So it's St.
I
Patrick's
like-
Day. So
It's St. Patrick's Day. Would it be cheating to pick like a trifecta of evolutions?
no, it says Pokemon, not Pokemons. So
Okay.
yes, that would be cheating, I think.
Probably Alakazam then.
Alakazam's good. Okay.
I like
Cool.
Alakazam.
Alakazam's yeah, that's a pretty good choice.
Doug Trio
I'm
is
down.
like a close second.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Incidentally,
down
Doug
with
Trio could pass as one of the characters in Bastard Bonds, at least if you pick certain fan art depictions of Doug Trio.
Oh, I see. I see.
Wow.
Yep.
We'll get
Okay.
deep into this.
Oh, so
Yeah.
couple mechanic things about the game. So you can see there are two little arcs right here. These little lines in front of my vehicle. These are weapon arcs. The game has a weapon drop off, projectile momentum. Like there is a lot that it's simulating here. The faster my forward velocity, of my vehicle, the faster the forward velocity of my munitions. If I have any side-to-side movement, it changes the arc on those. These two lines, each one represents the trajectory of a different weapon. My secondary fire here has a little bit of lag time. Has a turret mount, so it can shoot in any direction. But the bullets have some travel time to them, so you kind of got to plan out and anticipate where the enemy's going to be. The other one is my railgun. That has a near-instant travel time, so I don't have to worry as much about that. And it can shoot through most cover. Unfortunately, I only have 12 shots for that, so I have to refill it by various ways. There are these weapon depots like this one here. They each refill a weapon of their respective type. This refills my secondary weapon. You gotta be careful, though, because if you get too close to it, there's a little dotted line here, and if you're anywhere within that, you will get killed pretty much instantly, unless you're in a very heavy mech.
There's actually an indicator for the when you're blowing ammo jumps. And-
Yeah.
Yep, same thing.
Reload it.
Okay. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
The other way to
I
get
don't know
what...
if...
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
The other way to get ammo is, I just had to stealth, is when you destroy a vehicle without blowing up its chassis, and I think there's a random chance element to it too, it will have an ammo drop-off, ammo pickup.
Yep.
And you can pick up, depending on the size of the vehicle determines how much ammo it is. It could be a little bit, could be a lot.
Right.
And the goal of each map, there are 3 things you can do. You can see it kind of up in the upper right here. In order to move on from one map to the next, normally this exit thing here would be walled off. In order to get that gate to open and to exit the level, you have to either eliminate enough of the enemies on the map to get your garrison target met, you have to kill enough of the military leaders to get the captain's target met, or you have to destroy enough of those big orbital guns to get the structure's target met. Once you've met any one of those 3, you can move on, but you get tremendous bonuses for doing all 3.
Yeah. So there's definitely an incentive to go and try and do all 3. A question I was going to ask earlier. Is this vehicle the one that you're currently using? Is that one of the vehicles where you can control the direction that you're firing independently of your movement?
Yes.
Okay.
By holding shift, I can lock my vehicle's rotation position, and that allows me to kind of aim around me. It's useful for... It's useful in a couple things because this game has positional damage. You take a lot more damage if somebody hits you from behind than if they hit you from the front. So it is sometimes advantageous if you're fighting like a really strong enemy up front and a little quick guy flanks you. You can just kind of shoot him like that while dodging and weaving and avoiding exposing your back. Because once we switch characters and start the real run, there will be enemies that if I get caught in front of them, they will kill me in one hit, and then the run will be over. So, I have some ideas of what to do if the run fails, but... Whew.
Let's play it by ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one thing I really struggled with playing Brigador. Like, I think it plays really well. I think it's a really well-made game, but just like that sort of like limb independence of trying to control your movement and your firing independently is something I found very difficult to develop confidence of. And once I did, I felt like really comfortable, but it took time to get comfortable with controls.
Yeah, there's a big lead up to being competent with this game that like really could turn a lot of folks off. So this isn't a game for everybody, but like if you have the time to spend to learn it, it is so rewarding.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, it just oozes style.
Oh,
It's a reward
yeah.
for itself, but
yeah, if you guys like the music, there's a bunch of soundtracks for this game. They made the main soundtrack that's in the game, and then the guy that, basically the two brothers that made this game, decided they liked the music so much that they were going to contract the guy to make a second album inspired by the game but not used in the game, which is kind of awesome. It's
wow.
Makeup and Vanity Set
Yeah.
is the artist that did the music.
Yeah,
I'm gonna post
both
a
of-
link to that soundtrack in the chat.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah, do it. I think
So
both
you
of
wanna
them
check it
are on the Bandcamp.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely are.
The Bandcamp.
So we're going to switch
Bandcamp.
pilots. We were doing this Lovell Archer. So in skirmish mode, you have a difficulty level. The difficulty starts at a certain amount, determined by start difficulty, and difficulty means how many enemies you face and what their loadouts are. At higher difficulties, you have more enemies with more powerful loadouts, stronger mechs, and just bigger ambushes for you. Lovell starts at difficulty 4 and goes up to difficulty 10. I think there might be either 14 or 15 difficulty levels in the game. We're playing as Precursor Jones. He starts at max, and his max difficulty is max. So
And
he is.
he looks badass too. Jeez, yeah.
So we're doing with the same loadout as our little demo run. I'm feeling pretty warmed up.
Okay.
All right, 18
Feel good.
maps. I can't die once. A couple other things to mention. Your health never recharges. So that 75 health I have here, if I take any hits through the health, it's gone forever. The blue stuff, the shields, those will recharge. And then the third number, the light blue, these are temporary shields. Basically, you lose 1 or 2 points of these every second, no matter what. It's kind of the overcharge.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, we just got a
So-
donation. Let's
Oh,
see.
nice.
Are you guys able to see donations?
We are behind, I think. So.
Oh, you know what? I
Yeah.
have Sporky very generously offered up a Twitch stream to show donations.
Okay.
Media resource not supported.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I just saw it on the stream. Yeah, Mr. Home, $10. Thank you.
Oh, thanks, Phil. That was very generous of you. All right, so we're gonna get going. I'm gonna let these guys take over with the commentary because if I talk, I will die. So I will chime in with grunts. I hate this first area. The enemy placement is random every time, by the way. So there's always guys laying an ambush up here.
So you can't like memorize a route or anything.
Correct.
Yeah. One of the things that Evan will also have to look out for too is there are enemies that will raise the alert levels.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
at
the
least
guys
I'm
with
seeing
the guys with
eyes.
the big eyes over their heads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the alerts really suck for the type of run I'm playing. I'm doing a
Oh, yeah.
semi-stealthy run, and so I have health and shields. So does the enemy. As long as the enemy doesn't see me and doesn't go into alert, their shields will be down, which makes it easy to ambush them. And you'll see me do that right up here. I'm gonna fire a railgun shot in it. Yeah, and I just wiped out 4 very, very strong guys without them seeing me. If they go into alert, I couldn't have done that because they would be roaming around and their shields would be up.
Yeah. So if they go on alert, they get additional shields. There's also additional terrain that goes up,
Oh yeah.
and they become more active in trying to find you. Like
Yep.
Evan, obviously.
And that lasts for the rest of the map. Not for the rest of
Yeah.
the campaign, fortunately. One thing that does happen is if you get no alerts your entire campaign, you get a pretty hefty modifier to your final payout. So there's an incentive to avoid that.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
Oh, we just got another donation.
Excellent.
From Joanna the Wench Witch.
Ooh,
Hello.
Thanks, Joanna.
Thank you for your donation.
Excellent.
A $20 donation to the
Ooh.
lovely people at Transactive. That's very generous and kind of you.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing my mental math right, we should be 10% to our weekend goal.
We are currently at $240 out of our goal of $2,500 for Transactive Portland. So, and that's very, for the amount of time we've been streaming, the amount of time we've been working towards getting resources and funds for this great cause, that's an amazing achievement so far. So
Yeah.
thank you all.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Brigador
one thing I
gets the
forgot.
money.
Definitely.
Chat said.
Come for the money, stay for the horrible oppression. Oh, by the way, if you see me killing civilians here, it's not because I'm like a heartless bastard. Anyone that has a red glow to them or a red headlight is they're a suicide bomber.
Oh.
Yeah, they are trying to kill you.
Oh.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah,
noticed that before.
because you are a very bad person, by the way. Like there is no outcome. There is no outcome at the end of this run in which these people are better off because of you. You are a dirtbag, and this is cyberpunk. So
This is cyberpunk.
you are literally killing your friends, family, and neighbors in exchange for a corporate payout to leave your home planet forever. Oh, another donation just came in.
Oh wow.
Melty Goblin donated $25.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
That's extremely kind of you.
Yeah.
Joanna would like to let you know, Evan, to
Yes.
tell your wife that she's amazing.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Sharon.
Yeah?
Joanna from the Slack says that you are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
She says thank you.
What did I do?
The stuff with your school, presumably.
Yes.
Yes.
Hopefully the good
I imagine that would be
Yeah, the good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh geez. Fuck. So I did a thing that I shouldn't do, which is I went back into where the enemies were when my cloak was not active.
Right.
This guy here that has a little thing above his head, that is my favorite heavy vehicle. It is also the thing I'm the most terrified of this entire run. It is very fast, it's a hover vehicle, and it is equipped with 2 heavy guns. Either of the 2 guns it could be equipped with, and it can be equipped with any number of different guns. Either of those 2 will kill me in one hit. So,
Yes.
my run could have ended right there. This is the other thing about the skirmish mode that, like, I thought this was the dumbest thing. I'm talking now because I've cleared most of this area and I can kind of relax a little bit. Most of this sector. I hated the skirmish mode at first because it felt very punishing. In the campaign, you basically have one map to finish, and once that map's over, you're done. You don't have to worry about the state you were in at the end of the map. With this mode, you absolutely have to worry about health, shields, ammo, everything from map to map, which makes it extremely difficult.
But it's also rewarding once you get it.
Yeah.
That's what's kept me coming at it, because there's one level of skill that involves being able to finish a game, finish a level, that...
That's tough.
Oh god, that's that guy. Sorry.
That's okay. So,
One interesting thing about this vehicle and these weapons is that I have a hard time hitting other hover vehicles, because the arc... unless I shoot at their feet with my railgun, the arc requires that I center it dead on where they are midair, which is very difficult.
Yep.
yeah, so not just distance, but also height.
Yeah. There are other weapons that are like arced projectiles or laser cannons, and there's a couple shotguns that have like a really wide range of fire, where that's not as much of a problem.
Is this your favorite loadout, would you say?
It's
Or
the
at
one
least
I'm...
for this type of run.
For this run, yeah. This is the one I think I'm the most likely to finish in. My favorite loadout is that big, nasty, heavy fucker, but I can't do as well with him. It's the, I think it's the Roper is the name of the gun. Or the name of the mech.
Yeah. That's like 2 stories tall, almost.
Oh, yeah. And there's a fast one that I'm a big fan of called the Rope Kid. Presumably named after the Rope Kid of Obsidian and also Something Awful. But yeah, it's a very fast hover vehicle that has almost no health and is super fun to play, and its weapons are very weak, and I was seriously considering doing this run with it, but you have 0 margin for error with that thing.
Right. And with a run as difficult as you're doing, you kind of want a little bit of a margin. You want to fuck up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I was actually asking like what the rope kick from Something Awful was.
Oh, he was a Something Awful user. He was also the lead designer, I think the lead designer, someone similar to the lead designer, like in terms of like hierarchy, of Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah.
It's like, lead designer of...
We just got another donation from my favorite Twitch username.
Oh, my favorite John.
Yeah, my favorite John. Well, second favorite John. Well, I'm not picking. But we just got a $25 donation from Summarize Prost.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
That was very
Thank you for
generous.
the donation.
Yeah.
That it. When I first watched a DuckSpring, that username came up, and I genuinely laughed for about 5 or 10 minutes.
So Melty Goblin
Yes,
said,
they are good Johns.
said his message for his donation was, "Game is awesome. We'll have to give it a try. Keep up the good work, Evan."
Oh, thank you. I know they're going to be covering it pretty soon on Check It Out Comrade, which should be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am theoretically guesting on that episode. Assuming scheduling and everything works out.
Yeah, that should be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it would hardly feel like a Brigador episode without you.
Yeah, exactly. You got to, you want the expert analysis of someone who's one of the best players in the world at this game, if you can get it.
Okay, so we just got the, sorry to interrupt, but we just got the, alert. Oh, shit. So I just killed all the captains, all the structures, and all the garrison that I need to finish. I'm not going to kill everybody because there are some real scary fuckers in that crowd back there, so we're just going to leave now. You don't have to kill every single enemy in the map.
But you need to get those bars in the top right corner to be green. If I'm
Yes, sir.
recalling correctly.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need to get any one of them green. If I can get all three, the payout's a little bit better. I think I missed one on the last map. I'm not going for all three because in some maps that involves driving around an empty map looking for the structure you missed, and that is no fun for anybody.
Yeah.
Killing these depots also gives me bonus cash. So as long as I have the ammo, I'll be doing that.
Yeah.
All right. First level done. All of these to go.
Yeah. Wrenchwood mentions the Troll Hunter poster that you have in the back. That's
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah.
great.
Melty Goblin asks, are the maps the same each time, or is there an element of procedural generation? So it's the... Go ahead.
Yeah, the maps are the same. The thing that's procedural is where the enemies are in them, and also to a certain extent the loadout and the vehicles that the enemies make up. That's partially determined randomly, partially determined by your difficulty. There are other skirmish campaigns that mix it up where you'll have a random assortment. Some of them even let you pick the next one to do, but this one being the full linear Solenobre, you do them from beginning to end. And kind of in there are two maps in particular that I think if I'm going to die on here, it's probably going to be the last map, which is the spaceport, or I'll call it out when I see it, but there's one map that's very empty, which is very bad for this build. Because there's not many places to break line of sight.
Yeah, so you really got to be aware of when your camo's up.
Okay, so we are now seeing... Okay, that was bad. I just took a bunch of damage. Those little orbs are... They're unmanned drones. They are also suicide units. They have a little bit more health, and they're faster.
Oh yeah, I'm a little behind. Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was lucky when that thing hit me. I should have been paying better attention. I should have whipped around and shot it, but luckily I had a nearly full overshield, so it didn't cause too much damage. Ooh, I just heard another donation pop up.
Oh, excellent.
We got a donation from Jamsel, who donated $10. With
Oh,
a
awesome.
Message, just need to take it to 300. Thanks, Jams.
Awesome. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that how it's pronounced, Jamsel?
I'm guessing so.
That's
I mean, that makes the most sense to me.
I always pronounced it James L for some reason, even though there's no E.
James L.
Huh.
I mean, it could be that. I think it's actually pronounced Steve, but it's just a really odd spelling. Yeah.
See, now every time I see it, I'm going to think of a Jamsel in distress.
Yep, Davey just made that joke in.
Oh.
Made that joke in the chat. Yep.
See, I couldn't have stolen his joke because I'm playing so well. If you ever see me play like shit and then all of a sudden tell a joke, that means I'm probably looking somewhere else to steal it.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Esther Home mentions that it's pretty cathartic to be tearing up these suburbia buttons.
I was just thinking that. Oh yeah, I love that. One of the campaign missions in this is you are a disgruntled golf course maintenance man at one of these gated communities, and
Sorry, what?
So you are
Okay,
a disgruntled
okay.
groundskeeper at one of the golf courses, and it's not this map, but it's in the same district as this. So like, these are roughly corollary to the general themes and aesthetic of the different maps in the main campaign. And he basically builds himself a killdozer. If you remember the famous killdozer of our actual world that we live in, he builds one of those and then goes on a rampage in the gated community.
Oh, that's actually a thing. Oh, Jesus.
Oh yeah. The killdozer was a.
Oh.
I don't remember what his grievance was, but yeah, that was a. That was a big thing on Something Awful, and I know the guys that made it, the brothers that made this game are. There's like Something Awful Easter eggs scattered all around this game.
Yes. Apparently it was a zoning dispute in Colorado.
Oh right, the
Yeah.
guy was he blamed the county for like his failed business, I think.
Yes.
Something like that.
That is correct.
Killdozer of Granby, Colorado.
Okay, so one thing I love to do in this is when I find
Night jams.
one of these ammo outposts for a weapon I like, I love to go on a rampage and kill all the enemies with it with unlimited reloads, which can't happen here because there's no enemies nearby. So, gotta move on.
Just shoot all those squishy people.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's weird how after you play enough of this game, you kind of stop noticing them.
They're like squishy people.
Jesus.
Where?
So this game, like, increasingly, the more you talk about it, the more I just think it's a documentary on, like, modernity. Like,
Well, it's got a killdozer.
yeah, killdozers, not caring about the people you're running over, railguns, kind of, it's
Yeah.
a little on the nose.
Yeah. Floating tanks that you can
Floating tanks,
slam on the ground to destroy stuff.
some
you know what?
people from something awful. No, go ahead. I was gonna make an off-color joke, so.
I'm really enjoying the banter because this is. I'm not looking forward to the second half of these levels. They get real hard. This one's nice and easy. They'll
Yeah.
get so hard that even if I wasn't streaming, my computer will slow down.
Oh,
So,
Jesus.
Wow.
yeah.
And like this isn't like a graphically intense game, so that's
No, it's because
that
there's
is
like it's
that is
I think
saying
it's all AI pathfinding. I think.
Oh, wow.
right.
Because
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
you-
I mean, the AI is pretty damn good in this.
so there was a
we-
huge. Oh no, I'm just going to leave. There's a huge cluster of enemies back there.
Oh, Christ.
I've already.
Run.
Yeah, I've already
Oh
finished one of
my
my
gosh.
objectives. Oh, another interesting thing. This isn't true stealth. This is basically electronic countermeasures. In the fiction,
Okay.
you shut down your shields, you turn off all of your navigation, all of your computers, everything, and you run silent. And you deploy some sort of like counter EM shielding.
Okay.
Which means if an enemy gets close enough to you in the game, all the stuff about the fiction in the audiobook and in the lore actually has like a tie into the mechanics of the game, and every mechanic in the game has an explanation in the fiction, which is kind of even like picking up shields from people. That was me. I shouldn't have done that. If you see me 10 seconds from now kill somebody, it was a reflex. But I forget what I was saying.
We have a question from Summarize Proust in the chat.
Ooh, yes.
Evan, is this level set in the same neighborhood you have just bought a house in?
No.
Okay.
Okay. My yard is like 1,000 square feet, so no.
Okay.
No, I'm buying a very efficient townhome in. I'm buying a very efficient townhome near an awesome pizza place, so that'll be fun.
Ooh. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Gated communities, like, they don't creep me out, but they seem kind of, I don't know,
I personally hate them.
tasteless.
Yeah,
It's like, hey, we
Like,
have all
they
this nice stuff. Don't come in and see it.
exactly.
Right.
Now, the place I'm moving to is pretty explicitly like everything the HOA pays for is open to everybody. All the public parks, all the facilities, and it's not really an HOA. It's like a city, but it's a corporation.
Wow.
Okay.
Sounds a lot like Brigador.
Yeah.
Seem to be doing pretty well sneaking around the edges here,
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
for the most
You
part.
seem to be doing very well health-wise. Well,
Yeah, we're
yeah,
trying to
health-wise and
jinx you.
skill-wise. Yeah.
Incidentally, dodging is a thing that takes a long time to learn in this game, but being able to evade like 20-30% of an enemy's shots saves you a lot of headaches.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I imagine that's something that starts becoming instinctual as you go through it, because it's like a lot with this game. You know, Liam was talking about it at the start. It takes a bit to know how the game's gonna react to your inputs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Incidentally, and this is not a joke, part of the reason I was playing so much Hanzo around last summer, and why I got kind of decent with him for a while, was because this game involves a lot of like projectile arcs and managing, like estimating where the projectile will be with projectile stuff in general, is why I played so much Hanzo, because it was like, oh, this is like Brigador, only I'm a half-naked man.
So what's the difference?
Oh, the difference is I'm a fully naked skeleton, or I'm a fully clothed skeleton right now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
A little bit later, I'll tell you the story of who Precursor Jones is, this character, because it's kind of incredible.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you posted a little bit about it, but I don't remember all of it. I just remember that guy, the character portraits, like
They are really
shit
cool.
that got my
They are
10 days as hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
We're listening, John.
Oh.
So I was going to ask, so you were talking about dodging earlier. Is it a case where if you partially dodge a shot, you take partial damage, or...?
It depends on the type of shot. So,
Okay.
if you get hit with the projectile full on, there's nothing to do about it. You get hit with the laser, nothing to do about it. A lot of weapons have splash damage. My railgun has splash damage. If it passes through you, you're probably dead. If it hits near you, you might survive.
Right.
Same deal with the enemies. A lot of their weapons have splash damage. A lot of their lasers are AoE. There's a couple of weapons. If I die early, I'll show off some other builds before. Oh, by the way, if I hit the hour mark, give me a heads up, because I just want to manage my time.
Okay.
Yeah, we're about halfway through. We're at 8:30 now.
Yeah.
Oh, I better get the lead out. By which I mean play stupid and take risks. I shouldn't have done that.
Okay. All right. Sure. So, theoretically, how long would a complete run of this mode take to complete if you were to do it successfully in one go?
It depends on what you're trying to do. In this vehicle, if all I wanted to do was take out the structures and get out, probably 30 minutes. There have been one of the runs was in a faster vehicle than this that did more or less that, and it was about 20 minutes. If I'm going to try to get every objective, probably an hour or more.
Okay.
Yeah, and there hasn't been. I think it's been talked about before, but the game didn't sell a ton. But then there's been somewhat of a community building up around it a little bit. It seems, at least on like some YouTube Let's Plays.
Yeah, it's very much like the concept of like.
Oh Jesus! Oh no!
Okay.
You guys will see my mistake in just a second.
Okay.
Right.
I can recover from this, but it's not good.
Oh.
Oh. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
The worst part is the game like dims out once you take a hit like that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the worst part is having 28 health for the rest of this run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we might not have to worry about the time I have left. If I don't make this run today, I'll be doing like little streams in a week or two once I'm no longer angry at the game. I'm going to do it eventually, and I'm going to stream it, and I'm going to put it on YouTube. So if anyone does want to watch, a more methodical, like less chatty run, I will be putting something like that up later.
Yeah, I was watching some of the run that you put up on YouTube last night to get ready for this, and I think I enjoy watching it more than I do playing it. It's or at least like
it's got a flow to it.
Yeah,
it's got a real flow to watching it. Like it's kind of like what's a good example of another game that I like to watch that's similar. There's an example that comes to mind, but I don't want to bring it up right at the moment. But it's like there's sort of a way of optimizing movement and moving gracefully from each sort of set piece, which is really cool to watch.
Yeah.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, you might do. Yeah. And it's like it's kind of like it's almost like a dance in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Of
Yeah.
you don't want to move as quickly as you can, like a speedrunner would, and you don't want to be sort of just running your head against a brick wall, a proverbial brick wall over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have like full control over your movement. You also want to be able to move effectively between the sort of set point pieces to ensure that you like maintain your resources and conserve resources optimally.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's and there's some tactical responses that you have to make. It's not
Yeah,
a set path.
yeah. It's like something going slow but fast. Which sounds contradictory, but it's actually pretty common. It's pretty common facet of games, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple questions
Joan.
in chat.
Sorry?
No, go ahead.
I was going to respond to Wrench Witch's question, which is your shield constantly depleting? That's the temporary shield you start with, correct?
Yeah, that's the overcharge. It is so there are two little blue portions. The dark blue over on the left is my permanent shields. Those will recharge, but they don't deplete over time. The other light blue is my overshield. That is always ticking down.
Yeah.
And
No, go ahead.
David asks, if someone knocks on the Brigador, will you open to them?
You know what? I'm so
That seems
desperate
like a
for people to talk to about. I'm so desperate for people to talk to about Brigador that I'll even accept puns like that. if it gets you playing, then yes.
It's got a good visual joust to it. I can see it.
Hot Pompadour on Pompadour action. Sorry, I was fighting another Pompadour right there. There's a series of vehicles, that roper I was talking about earlier that I liked, the big heavy boy, that are all, they're the People's Rebellion, the Corvids. Those vehicles are all basically tractors that were slapped onto tank engines.
Right. Okay.
They all
I'm
have
into that.
they all have a very specific look to them.
Hey, Regraph.
Hey.
Oh hey, Weegraph is the
Hey.
only person I know who has finished the Brigador audiobook and isn't me.
Jesus. Way to guilt everyone else out for watching this. Alright.
No, I meant that as a positive for him. Like,
Okay, I mean, sure.
like who the hell else am I going to guilt into reading, like, spending 10 hours of their life reading about a game that sold 10,000 copies? Reading about the fiction of a game that sold 10,000
Other
copies.
than yourself, yeah.
Other than myself, yeah. Okay, I'm in a bad situation, by the way. I'm gonna blow this, and kind of hang around until my shield recharges.
Holy moly.
I gotta be careful getting too close to the red explosion suicide enemies whenever I am stealth, because they will see me and just trigger themselves into exploding, and that is bad.
This is getting pretty chaotic.
Yeah.
Yep, this is
Wow.
the real Solenobre starts here. To use a shitty joke. It kind of does, though, because this... Nice.
All right. That's
Yeah.
been overdue.
This is the part where it stops resembling other runs, essentially.
Right.
Do the running lights on the enemies like trigger, like if you're cloaked, will they see you if you like run in front of their lights at all? Or is that just cosmetic?
You know, I don't know. I always assumed it was cosmetic, but I never actually thought about it.
I mean, because sometimes the runs are at night. Well, it seems like most of the runs are at night. Huh? Let's say sometimes it's in daytime.
Yeah. It's
That's true. Oh my.
Yeah, it's definitely it's got a very big guerrilla warfare sort of vibe to it, which is really really cool.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, considering you were one... well, in this case, you're not necessarily a soldier, but you're basically... most of these characters are essentially faithless soldiers turning on their comrades and their people, so, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to be in... and actually, that's the way the book is written. The book is told from... The book is told from the perspective of a commander of the Loyalist Army. They're the army of Dear Leader trying to fend off the rebellion and the corporation and one of their soldiers goes rogue, and it is told very much like what I'm doing right now, shooting a railgun at somebody through a building. That is a scene that happens in there. But yeah. Also, I kind of love the destruction in this game. Like, everything blows up, and it's so satisfying.
Yeah. That was one thing I got a kick out of. It's just going around, and there's, I guess, kind of a melee thing.
Oh no, shit.
Oh.
Yeah, there's also kind of a melee element. Sorry, I ran into a roper, and I wasn't prepared for it.
It's totally fine. Yeah. Don't feel like you have to answer.
Oh, Christ. Yeah.
Oh my.
Brandon asks, are there any redeemable people in this entire game?
The people walking around the city.
Okay.
Some of the enemies. Steve Leachman. Steve Leachman of the Steve Leachman comics is a character in the game. So is Johnny Five Aces and a couple of other folks.
Okay. Yes, the people he's running down are the people who are redeemable.
Yes. This is a game with absolutely zero ludonarrative dissonance. The story of this game and what you're doing in it is in perfect harmony.
Okay, yeah.
That's nice.
Especially for this character. I'll start going into it as soon as things calm down this map, because in case this run does end early, I do want to talk a little bit about him. About it. About them.
Oh.
Okay, so we should be pretty clear. So this is Precursor Jones. The Precursors are the original settlers of Solenobre, more or less. They're revered kind of like gods by the people. It's not exactly gods, but somewhere between saints and deities. And for example, like they worship the main ship's mechanics wrenches, like the way you would say, like, or the way a dwarf would say, by Boren's beard or whatever. Precursor Jones is a legendary soldier, a legendary fighter, and people talk about him like he's still around. There's one bit in his profile that basically says, like, even the hint that Precursor Jones is coming causes your enemies to bring every single enemy to bear, which fits with him being the max difficulty pilot. The thing is, these vehicles are controlled via neural jacks.
Okay.
Just spiked to the back of the head. There's a bit in the audiobook about the neural jacks. Not everybody can do them. You have to have the right temperament. Some of the older jacks are finicky, and a lot of the older vehicles will have kind of like a residual and a feedback. Some of the more superstitious pilots act like the mechs have their own personality, which, the more modern folks dismiss as not being. It's like, no. But there is hints that these vehicles kind of have a residual. The more you use a vehicle, the more it acts like you, the more it responds to what you want it to do, the more it seems to become a part of you.
Okay.
So, Precursor Jones has been around since the very beginning. He has fought more fights than just about anyone else in this entire game, in this entire story, and he's supposedly still active. And if you look at his character portrait, this was like a real goosebumps. Like, I was getting goosebumps, like ASMR tingles, the works, whenever I unlocked this character and saw his portrait.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's a fucking skeleton. He's a corpse. He's a corpse sitting in the pilot seat of this vehicle. It's not this vehicle, any vehicle.
Yeah.
And then I realized what that means. This dude fucking died while piloting his mech. And the thing that's flying around right now isn't him. It's his mech after decades and decades of learning how he acts and just taking on his neural patterns, carrying out the things that he did when he was alive in this vehicle.
Oh, man.
Just, like, driving around. Man, I love it.
Just drawing stuff. Yeah.
That's cyberpunk as hell.
Now, was this
Ghost
was
mech.
this one of the DLC, or not DLC, but one of the characters they added later on?
No, this was one of the original characters.
Okay.
Yeah, he was always the max difficulty mode. The DLC characters are they're fun, but they're not like great to play.
Yeah.
There's not much reason to play them mechanically. I'll put it that way. Like Johnny Five Aces is a good joke once you realize what the joke is, but there's no real reason to play as him.
And it's a pretty obscure joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the joke with his character is that he starts really promising. he promises a huge payout at the end of the mission, but there's a little bit in there that basically makes it so the mission payout goes down every single mission you complete with him, and dwindles down to nothing. So he promises the world and delivers nothing. Which,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm still trying to figure out where the fiction is because
Yeah.
yeah.
This is getting pretty eerie.
Yeah. Well, no, it's still Brigador. It's not getting pretty eerie.
okay, this is bad. The area up here is full of enemies. I'm unprepared for it. This might be the end of the run. So one thing you should never do in Brigador that I'm doing right now, because I don't have a lot of options, is you should never flee into an area that you haven't already cleared. You want to always have an escape route. You don't want to... Yeah. Also, you notice these shots that I'm just barely getting behind cover to avoid are destroying entire blocks of buildings.
Yeah.
And thanks to me being an idiot and running that way, all those dudes have their shields up.
Oh no.
Which
And then they're gonna
means...
come and chase you because they know you're around.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm low. I only have two shots of my railgun left.
Just going out into the woods.
Yeah, I just saw you like bumping against a wall for 15 seconds.
Yep. Trying to melee the wall.
Yeah.
Try to get somewhere where the enemies haven't seen me yet, so I can take them unawares and restock some of my ammo.
Is the melee AOE different in different maps?
Yes.
Or is it
So
roughly-
it depends on the type of vehicle you have. Tanks, it causes them to charge forward real fast, doing damage whenever they hit something, but also just going fast. Mechs stomp their feet, and hover vehicles crash down to the ground.
Yeah, I like the mechs stomping around.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
like
it's a
to-
really cool effect.
I'd like to bring up a possibility for one of the only things in Brigador that is not currently present in the real world.
Okay.
Which is the cars. Obviously, cars are cars are hovering around. You're in a big hovering thing that's floating around. And obviously, we don't have those in the real world just yet. No matter what Google's trying to do with cars. But Spoon asks, is the secret behind cars that actually hover, and that they just have very tiny wheels?
Hey Liam, could you do me a favor and disconnect and reconnect to the Discord real quick? You're getting you're turning into a computer.
Oh, man.
Oh, so I'm becoming a mech?
You are becoming a mech.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Sure.
I have a story about that as soon as you get back.
Should be good.
Is that better?
Oh yeah, that sounds better.
Cool.
So I have a fun story for you. One of the
Okay.
characters in this game is he is one of the only loyalists, one of the only planet-bound people in Solenobre that has extensive knowledge of the third faction, which are the Spacers. They are hyper-Randian, like ultra-capitalist mercenaries that exist mostly to fill out contracts on the corporation.
Yeah.
They are super secretive, and they would kill people that knew as much as he did. And there's a little bit of flavor text that's like, he's considered a flight risk because he would probably flip sides in a conflict just for the opportunity to examine the other side's munitions up front. And there's a little bit at the very, very end, is rumored to be a literal mech fetishist. And he's like
Okay.
some...
Alright.
After I'm done with the run, I'll just have to show you his picture because it's delightful. Oh, also, there might be a quick... Oh, he doesn't look happy. Let me change to my... Hey, buddy. Yeah. You're a good boy.
Pretty kitty.
That's
Oh.
Leo. He is my cat. He loves to be held upside down, and he has very chubby cheeks.
Aw.
Thank you. All right. So, back to horrible dystopia. Okay. So we're going to step things up and try to get through this a little bit faster.
Cool.
Partially because I want to get done in time for a little bit of Bastard Bonds. Partially because I am going to die if I keep trying to kill everybody.
We have a question from Melty Goblin.
Yes.
This is asking, is there a cat pilot?
There is not, sadly.
Wow. Would you want there to be a cat pilot?
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the pilots are more or less human, except for, well, I guess this guy's an ex-human.
I was just gonna say.
Depending on how you interpret it, this guy is either a computer or the soul of a human or a living skeleton.
Okay.
There is a literal lich that is a pilot. There's no.
Okay.
They don't even try to justify it in the lore. They're like, oh no, this is Steve Lichman from the comics.
Okay. Yep.
He was added at Christmas because the developers really liked that comic and were like, hey, can we put your guy in a game? At a certain point when this game didn't sell well, they decided it's like, well, let's just have some fun for a little bit.
Yeah.
Incidentally, they are relaunching the game this summer with more friendly controls. Right now it has screen relative movement, or I'm sorry, vehicle relative movement, not screen relative, sort of tank controls.
Yep.
Which a lot of people find hard to use. It is getting regular old dual stick controls, and a new campaign to kind of help ease people into some of the trickier stuff about the game. And that's supposedly coming out this summer. According to a small Australian podcast one of the developers was on once, that I listened to because it had the word Brigador in it.
Jesus, Evan. Jesus Christ. You're becoming a parody of yourself. Hi, Cole. Glad you can join us. We have a question from David, who asks, is there an orb pilot?
Is there a what?
Is there an orb pilot?
Pilot.
An orb pilot?
Yes.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
There is a pilot who surgically implanted orbs and spikes under her skin.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Oh,
That's pretty. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She is like the most punk body mod to the extreme character.
Well, they need at least one of those.
Oh, yeah. That went well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so what I did there was, I knew I was kind of fucked. I knew I would take some damage. What I was doing was I was going head on at enemies knowing that my stun basically slows down the rate at which they do stuff. My secondary weapon kind of slows down whoever I'm happening to shoot. So I picked a big fucker and I started hitting him with that. And I was basically using the bodies of my fallen enemies and the future bodies of the people I was fighting immediately to kind of block shots as I sort of banked around and tried to get out of there. Those little donut turnarounds are extremely useful for that.
Yeah. Davies Wooden Spoon says you're going to start the Brigador podcast you want to see in the world. No comment.
Ygraph and I have joked about doing a Brigador podcast, and the more I think about it, the less it seems like a joke, and the more it seems like it's kind of a cool idea. Because the campaign is set up. You have 4 pre-selected loadouts. You have to pick one for each campaign mission, and the campaign missions will have unique objectives and challenges, and it'd be a lot more interesting to talk about than like, hey, so I had a good run the other day.
Yeah, definitely.
Because some of those loadouts are like designed to be just pain in the dick hard.
Yeah. You could totally do like a bonfire side chat-esque podcast, I think, about the the lore behind. Oh, excuse me. Behind.
Oh yeah. Right.
And all
Yeah.
the-
If you bring in the lore and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can leave. I totally missed that.
I think it just happened because I haven't seen it on stream yet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it only just popped up for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pepsi Max.
Oh, hello.
Okay, this one's tough. This map has a lot of open areas. It's one of the agricultural sectors.
Gotta destroy them all, right?
The thing I just destroyed is the Buckmaster mech that was named after Brad Buckmaster, who wrote the audiobook. They did it as just going off of one of the podcasts the developers on. They did it partially as a joke, thinking like, "Oh, this guy wrote the book and he's about to narrate the audiobook. It'll be funny to have him like have to read about his own mech all the time." But he leaned into it and he like doubled down on the references to that mech because he was like, "Oh no, I love it. I love having a mech named after me and having it be such an awesome badass thing." I am doing the advanced strategy known as shooting and holding S.
Okay. Yep.
You might recognize it from games such as Overwatch.
Okay. Call of Duty.
Yes.
Battlefield.
Unfortunately, I can't hit Q in this, so I'm not sure how I'm going to win. The problem with me being on video is that you see the fact that I smirk at my own dumb, shitty jokes and I can't stop it.
Well, luckily it's on delay, so
Yeah. So I'm just watching you laugh 20 seconds after you actually laugh.
yeah. I don't know. Is that better or worse?
I'm pretty proud
I'm
of
enjoying
myself not taking any
Yeah.
more damage after getting down to 28 armor.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And again, like, yeah, there's just a nice flow to this game that kind of calming, even when it gets insanely crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do for the rest of this map is open areas with a massive compound surrounded by a wall and sandbags where most of the orbital guns are. So what I've been doing is I've been slowly pulling out and killing off the larger enemies outside. That way, when the guns start going down, not as many of them will be able to notice me and come at me all at once.
Would you say you're the pullout king?
Wow.
Joining me in chat is
Yes,
Mikhail.
entrance.
Give me a quick second. I need to make sure everybody's audio volume is equalized.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, you're totally cool. I invited you here and then did not expect you to actually show up.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Because you never told me you were going to show up. Hey man, how's it going?
Hey, I thought you were starting at 9
Oh, that's okay.
Eastern.
Well,
Well, you look great.
Oh, thank you.
Aww.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were going to be busy with your kid or...
I was until very recently.
Oh, cool.
But then we did some breathing exercises, and I convinced her to sleep.
This is getting dark.
yeah.
This is getting real
Just
dark.
breathe.
Yeah. Just breathe or just don't.
The spaceship is coming.
Evan, I have a question for not from the chat, from my own dumb brain.
Okay.
How easy would it be to adapt the lore of Brigador into a children's book?
It depends. Are you an anarcho-capitalist or not?
Or are you just asking if we can adapt it into a children's book that may or may not just frighten every child that reads it?
You could adopt it into a children's book if you're like the kind of monster who reads their kids Ayn Rand. Then yes, you could probably take this lore and make it into a child-friendly format.
Okay. So if I
Not if you're a good person, because this is
No, I'm
not...
a good person.
Nothing about this setting is... Cyberpunk is meant to be oppressive, it's meant to be... showcase the worst of greed run rampant and
Okay.
unchecked corporate power. This is
Yeah.
nothing but that.
Okay.
I can hear just Liam's like, check.
Yep. Reading Ayn Rand's cyber capitalism, killing a whole bunch of innocent people. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm
my
so
kid
in.
will-
These are going to be some great children.
Jeez.
aren't all children ANCAPs really, you know?
Yeah, until they learn empathy.
So that's like 14? 15?
I can actually remember the moment where I first felt empathy for somebody else as a little kid. And it was when my brother broke my we went to Disney and we got these little tiny porcelain figures. I got one of Donald Duck, or he got one of Donald Duck, I got one of the 101 Dalmatians because I had bad taste as a kid. And he dropped mine and broke the leg off of it, and so I was going to break the cane off of his Donald Duck, and he started crying, and I was like, oh, I can't possibly do this, because, like, this is my brother, and he's sad, and if I do this, it'll make him even sadder. And I was like, huh, I've never felt that before. So, yes, that was like 6-year-old me
moment.
learning empathy.
And your heart grew 2 sizes that day.
Okay, so I'm going to do some breathing exercises, because I just realized this is I mentioned there were 2 places I'll probably die on this run. One is the spaceport at the very end. The other one is this map. This is the most open, has the least amount of cover, and once things get going, it does not let up. So, might be the end of the run, but hopefully not. Luckily, it started me out right next to an ammo depot for my my railgun, so I can be a little bit sloppy with it. Ammo depots aren't unlimited; they will run out after a while, but
Okay.
they'll give you about either a half or a full charge of a weapon.
Right.
I like how they're
Yeah.
clearly marked, at least.
Oh yeah, it follows the Just Cause style of putting the Dear Leader's picture on literally everything.
Yeah. I mean, everything's pretty small, so...
Wrenchwich asks, are you Brigger doomed?
Remains to be seen.
You have no right to sigh, Liam. Seriously.
I'm glad you're on, Miguel.
So one of the things that sucks about this area is that Brigador enemies detect you 2 ways. They detect you directly by seeing you, which causes them to come at you and raise their shields. They also detect you indirectly by hearing explosions of buildings, munitions, and the muzzle noise of your weapon. So you firing the weapon and the weapon hitting. This area sucks because unless you're running a total stealth build with very quiet weapons, as soon as you enter one of these big open areas, and I think there's 3 or 4 of them, every enemy in it will immediately... Well, most every enemy will notice what you're doing and try to triangulate on your position. So you have to... Yeah, this is really tough.
Just a quick time check. We are right at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Cool. This is probably the last one where I'll have to be really slow and methodical about beating it.
This is one of the toughest ones, so that makes sense.
Yeah, you get through this.
So should we sing something to you? Like Freebird. Everyone likes Freebird, right? Liam, go on.
All right, give me a sec. I got it. 1 second. I don't know the word. I'm a filthy fraud. So
You're
Alright.
a frog?
I don't remember that from the song.
Oh no, this is bad.
Half of the song's just noodling, you know? Noodling thing.
Yeah.
Just love noodles.
the band Fish, who I used to be a very very big fan of.
This is
Did
explaining a lot.
Excuse me. They did an a cappella version of Freebird on a regular basis, and I'm not talking about just the vocal parts. They did a barbershop quartet version of all of the guitar solos and piano solos that come at the end of the song as well. I don't know if it was good. I don't think it was good, but it was certainly
Entertaining.
interesting.
You just stood there and
Sounds
It
fishy.
goes. It goes like All right. Okay. If I leave. Sorry.
Go on.
If I leave here tomorrow, would you still remember me?
Go on.
You know, you
I
don't-
can't
I don't
finish
know.
until he's.
For I must Sorry.
On a side note, this area has 9 captains instead of the usual 3 or 4.
If I stay here with you, girl.
Yes, a side note. Talking about the game.
Like, Elias is correct. Like, we don't really have Freebird here. It's kind of not a thing.
Hearing you sing it, I realized I don't actually know any of the lyrics to Freebird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things
I didn't.
just couldn't be the same. 'Cause I'm free as a bird.
I know that part.
now.
Oh, is that because birds mean women in this?
And this bird you cannot change.
Shit, I am about to get an alert. Yep, so this is that bad thing I was telling you about that happens. So in addition to every enemy becoming semi-active and putting their shields up, these walls go up, and they are super hard to destroy. Luckily, I think the power substations that would take these walls down are in this sector. There's one of them. If you destroy these things, the walls will come back down, which makes the map considerably easier, but it does not undo all the enemies going alert and turning on their shields.
Right.
So this
Yeah,
got
that
a
was
little bit harder.
A lot of enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's kind of these different zones here. This is the low class, like the working class kind of slums. Each one of these buildings is sort of like they're maintained using the same philosophy as an Ultramax prison facility. Line of sight, control, and basically long open areas that people have to cross through in order to break curfew. Luckily, I don't have to deal with the other areas. But yeah, basically all the different areas are split up by checkpoints with lots of military vehicles to keep the poor people from moving sector to sector. There are very few good guys in this game.
Yeah,
Certainly
there's
not.
so much social commentary happening. It's ridiculous.
It's basically North Korea versus like hyper corporate Monsanto, but with no laws governing how it should act.
Yeah. Man, made it through another tough one. Still with health. This is ridiculous.
And with an obnoxious idiot singing Freebird in the background.
One of the nice things about that last map is that once you get kind of the initial, as long as you can get through the very first part of the area without causing an alert, it makes the rest of it a lot easier. If you're only going for one victory condition, if you want to do all 3 conditions, it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
But with just one, enough enemies get pulled to your location that you can kind of kite them to where you are, and you don't have to worry as much about. That was weird. You don't have to worry as much about finishing everything.
That's really close.
So that little probe didn't explode on me because I killed it with my own melee before it could turn around and explode, which is fun.
Yeah.
The enemies that self-destruct need to be facing you to do so.
Zombie Chocobo says he is sweating on the inside.
He also said Liam should sing Rocky Like a Hurricane.
Hold on.
Warm
I
up those
actually-
pipes.
I actually don't know this song at all, so...
I feel like he is sweating on the inside might be a line in Rocky Like a Hurricane.
I'm laughing.
Yep, it's right there. Second verse.
Probably. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Let me at least hear the song before I embarrass myself.
You never heard this song?
No, no, seriously, never.
Oh, wow.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
What?
Man, this is like
What?
an education for
Yeah.
Liam's classic rock cred.
Go listen to some Midnight Oil or something. Evan, this looks really hectic.
Yeah, and I'm very low on
people
ammo.
with Flashlights.
Yeah, the last 6 or 7 of these are all going to be very stressful. Which is why I'm really glad that you guys are coming along to make this stream entertaining. Otherwise, it would be a very sweaty me sitting here doing no talking.
No, you're not sweating. That's what everyone's talking about, how you're not sweating.
Yeah.
I would be sweating if I was worrying more about keeping people entertained.
Great.
You 3 make this no sweat.
Okay.
think that's a song too.
La 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 la.
Okay.
Give me that.
Are you warming up?
Yeah, man.
Here, let me get my tune whistle out.
Have you got a pitch by the handy? It's early morning, the sun comes out. Last night was shaking and pretty loud. My cat is purring and scratches my skin. So what is wrong with another
I didn't know you had a
sin?
cat.
I'm not singing that next line. There is no no.
Yeah, Zombie Chocobo even said you shouldn't sing it because like it's
Yeah.
bad.
That is a
Yeah.
bad yeah.
My stepdad didn't like it when I sang that song.
Uh,
All right, we got an exit.
cool.
Nice.
Cool.
I like how you're just sneaking around, sniping people with that railgun.
Oh yeah.
So, can you explain? I'm sure you already did, but Evan, does the exit appear after you fulfill a certain set of conditions, or do you have to
Yeah.
find it?
In the upper right-hand corner, there are 3 main objectives. You have to either kill enough of the enemies in the map, kill all of the leaders of the enemies on the map, all the military captains, or destroy all of the massive orbital guns that are trying to prevent the Space Corp from invading.
Okay. And then you get an exit.
And then I get an exit. If you do all 3, you get a little bonus whenever you get paid out at the end of the map, or at the end of the run, but, yeah.
And before you go into the next mission, are you just about
Yes.
before you go to the next mission, could you just briefly remind us what this stream is and so
Oh,
on?
yeah.
that's right. So this stream, I'm going to switch to my other overlay. Yeah, so this is a stream for the Transactive Gender Center of Portland, Oregon. There's a little donate button right below the Twitch page. If you just scroll down, it's right there. Every dollar counts. These people provide fantastic support services for trans boys and girls, young teens, adults. They provide tremendous service. I know I just said boys and girls as if there's only 2 genders. They provide support for trans people of all genders. In the Portland, Oregon area. That support's needed more now than ever. Kind of goes without saying, but the suicide rate of trans people is incredibly high. This has not been a very good couple months under President Trump since the election, so every dollar definitely helps. And unlike a lot of organizations that provide more abstract type of advocacy, you know that your money's going straight to provide direct support services to actual at-risk youth in the Portland area. So it's a wonderful charity.
Yeah, they are good people.
Yeah, a good time to give.
Yeah. I mean, it always is, but this is especially a good time considering what's been going on recently.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, and like any of these types of services, providing them for youth just does a lot for them in the long run. You know, there are good studies out there that show that, thinking specifically of a CDC and Kaiser Permanente study that shows that kids who have to grow up in adverse circumstances end up with all sorts of different health problems later on in life. And, you know, that's bad as a human, but also, like, I don't know, if you want to put on your I'm a taxpayer and I care about my dollars hat, like, it costs society not to give people good mental health care and all these types of things. So, let's do it.
Yeah, it's a good pitch.
But mostly, let's do it because we're not assholes.
Yes. Incidentally, you'll notice right now the game is running a little bit slower. That is not your stream. That generally happens by the time you reach this level in this run. It's just because there are too many enemies.
That's a good subtitle for this game.
Incidentally, if anyone is seeing this and thinking like, oh, this seems like way too much for me, I am playing on absolute max difficulty with the hardest pilot on the hardest map series in the game, so this is not what typical play looks like.
Evan is the hardest pilot. That's what we call him.
With you guys on the stream with me, how could I help? How could I not be?
Yeah, you.
That joke would have been better if I didn't stutter halfway through.
That's alright. He's still pretty hard.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just heard a boy yoing. That means somebody donated.
Oh, excellent.
Oh boy. Okay.
More like bonated.
Oh, so we just got a donation from WeGraph, who donated
Ooh.
$40.
Oh, wow.
It's really generous of you, Kyle.
Oh, thanks, man.
Alright.
That is fantastic.
Thank you for your very generous donation. If you have a comment, put it in the Twitch chat and we will read it out. It just came up with your name on the chat on the stream. So if there's
Yeah.
anything you want to add, let us know.
Yeah, but thank you.
Yeah, you should read Kyle's blog. It's good.
Oh, I didn't know he had a blog.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
he writes about politics and stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, it
Whoa.
is like it is very far over my head.
I have always really
Huh.
appreciated
Do it.
Kyle's politics chat in the Slack. Him and Mikhail are the two folks I go to when I have questions about, like, hey, if I read this book, is this author any good? When I
Yeah.
look for political books and things like that.
Yeah.
Like,
If there's a giant book that you don't want to read, but you want to get a good take on it, definitely visit this book.
So, I'll just wait for
Oh.
you guys to catch up.
oh,
Oh, no.
that sucks. That sucks.
I got pretty
Oh.
close. I was thinking too much about books and blogs, and I so just because that all happened very fast. Just to let folks on the stream know. Incidentally, I'm getting sad music right now, played as I. Stuff.
All around me are familiar faces.
Yeah, not too far off. But yeah, what happened was I was trying to dodge a bullet, and I wasn't looking around to where I was going when I was flanking, and I drove into a gas pipeline, which exploded and killed me instantly. I didn't die because of an enemy, didn't die because just dumb mistakes.
Yeah, that's rough.
Alright. It's like real life.
And so, speaking of real life, we get
David.
we get to pay taxes. So, because of all the people that I've killed, I earned about $1.7 million. I earned $1.3 million for the collateral damage, all the buildings I destroyed, $1.1 million for my objectives, $900,000 for all the districts I cleared. Because of the difficulty of my pilot, my difficulty setting, it's a multiplier based on all the base score of this top area, I got $20 million. My vehicle multiplier, $25 million. And under the terms of my contract with the Solo No Break concern, the conglomerate spun up specifically to invade and conquer this planet, I incurred at death a funeral expense of $48.7 million. And of
wow.
course,
Okay.
I was charged a $37,000 transaction fee on my final $1.2 million payment. So,
What kind of funeral? I mean, that's some
so in the
fucking
fiction,
alien shit.
in the
Like,
fiction,
I
if
mean,
you,
considering you ran into a gas pipe and that was probably your funeral.
yeah. So this isn't a real funeral. This is there. I'll just go ahead and show you guys real quick. You probably won't
Okay.
be able to see the fine print. I'm gonna turn the volume back down.
Wait, so is it your funeral expenses or everyone else's?
It was that pilot's funeral expenses.
Oh, my.
Because I was reading that article in The Guardian about the Queen's funeral yesterday, and I don't think her funeral, as lavish and as extraordinarily extravagant as it's going to be, is going to be $48 million.
I saw this
The
one on the
Queen died?
OBS.
I
No,
didn't know the
like,
Queen.
no, there was an
Oh.
article about what's going to happen when she dies.
Oh,
So just to
jeez.
interrupt you guys real
And-
quick,
We got a
David-
donation.
Davey just donated $50 to the stream. Thank you so much, Davey.
Whoa.
I really
Yeah, that
appreciate
popped
that.
up. Awesome.
That's
Alright,
really great.
baby.
Woo!
That is, yeah, super generous. Thank you.
So yeah, so back to the contract. There is an acquisitions menu where you can buy things with the money that you earn in the campaign and the skirmishes. One of the things you buy is the terms to your own contract. As a Brigador, you accept an end-user license agreement to go and cause mischief, and there's a contract. Like everything you're doing is to get a payout from this corporation, but you only get part one of the contract, which is the basic agreement that got broadcast for free to everybody. You have to pay cash money if you want to see the rest of your contract, and there are four sections to it, and one of them, of course, involves you. Basically, if you die, you incur a funeral expense, which allows the company to basically claw back all of your winnings to keep it from going to your family and your next of kin. So,
Wait, so you actually have to pay in the game to see the other sections?
Oh yeah, you have to pay to see what your contract is as a pilot.
Man, that's dark.
It's very. You
Yeah.
have to pay to see the contract that you just signed up for, which is the most cyberpunk thing I can think of.
Yeah,
So we are now at $390 out of 2,500, which is really great.
That's awesome.
that's excellent.
Thanks, guys.
We still got
Nice job.
two more,
And we've got,
3 more days left.
Yeah, it's 72 hours, I believe.
Wow,
at
that's,
total,
awesome.
So
That's
got a
great.
bunch of time left.
So that didn't go quite as well as I'd hoped, but fortunately we're at the. It is now 9:18, which means we have time to play some basketball.